Hey everybody, so Kyle here, also, known as Liquid Kitten on the forums, I believe is what I show up as, and Luxac here on YouTube. Maybe I shouldn't have had all my names be different, but, I don't think about that stuff. So the reason why this intro is a little different is because this is actually a video that's meant to go on the forum, or at least a link to this is meant to go on the forum, but if you found it through YouTube or any other means, it doesn't apply to you any differently. So, I've been playing this game for not like a super long time, and it's great. I love it. But there's some things that I went through as a new player that now that I've kind of gotten through it, I figure I should share with other new players. Mainly because I think I might have handled them a lot better coming from a Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Hearthstone background, playing all of them but Yu-Gi-Oh fairly competitively too. So I have words of encouragement, but also like a little bit of caution. So before I get into the topics, to make sure the video is not boring, I'm going to go ahead and pop up a replay to have in the background of a game that was actually like really cool. And as soon as that replay starts, I will get on with my words. Here we go. So this is just a replay against Syraxis. It was really good. This is high silver, just on the cusp of gold when this match took place. So like I said, this is just me in the background. I'm not gonna be like commentating it. And I'm going to talk to you guys. So the number one thing I want to say when you first get into it is you need to not have the mindset that it's pay to win. And this is why I'm bringing that up as the first thing. Yes, it's a free game. And so any free game that has microtransactions, such as buying packs, people immediately have that it's pay to win mentality. But what you need to realize is this is a TCG, or a trading card game. It doesn't matter if it's digital or not. I mean, paper's dying, Eventually, Magic is even going to have to go full digital, in my opinion, and the opinion of some of my friends, who are all Magic players, if they want to compete, because it's just better, and the current product Magic has online isn't very accessible. That being said, yes, if you put money into it, you're going to get the tools you need to make a good competitive deck faster, but that is no different than any other trading card game. So that's the number one thing. If you still feel like it's pay to win and that's going to be a problem for you, you probably should back out. Not because there's anything wrong with the game, but because that's just how trading card games work, sadly, in this instance. Second thing I want to say is, the developers definitely deserve support. And I mean this in two ways. One, as you can see at the top of the screen there, the support bug report button, and financially. This game, in my opinion, having played it now for a while, is definitely worth some investment. And unlike Hearthstone, who I'm going to compare it to since it has the same crafting system, the spirit system and crafting system is much more forgiving than it was in Hearthstone. 1600 dust for a legendary when things give you almost nothing in return for dusting them, made it so that if a deck even needed one legendary, unless you bought packs, you're probably going to have to just use the deck suboptimally. But in Duelyst, legendaries are only 900, and commons give you 10 instead of 5, and epics give you 100, etc., etc. The return you get for your cards when you disenchant them is so much more forgiving that if you're willing to put in, say, $50 to get the 40 packs, right? Even if you don't open a lot of things you need, you are almost, I feel like you'll almost always be able to at least make a decent deck with what you got there, for sure. And we're talking like at least silver, I think that's almost guaranteed. Of course, you'll want to learn the basics and maybe look up some deck lists online. I know some people are against net decking, but it's still good to learn from your peers. I don't net deck. This deck that I run, though you know, there's not a lot of variation right now because the game just came out, so there's not a million cards. It might just happen to be similar to a lot of things. I just really like Magmar, and I really like Control, and I wanted to play Control Magmar, and so I did. And I've got some help from the community on our forum and on this channel. Again, Zebra Lord, is that your name? Thank you so much for the advice. I made one change since the last video I put up, and it's actually right there on the bottom. I took out the last Rust Crawler and put in a Vindicator, and this card has really, really, really paid off. On 7 mana, I have won more than a few games casting Vindicator on 7 mana and then casting an Emerald Rejuvenator and then having her charge in and do something. But what I'm getting at is, if you feel like this is something you're going to be into, it is 100% worth it to just put in the 50, get the 40 packs, or the 40 spheres, and then craft a decent deck. Also, on the same line, if you don't want to do any more than that, that's completely good and fine, because between the 2 quests you get a day, your first win of the day, and then usually by the time you just get your second win, because then you'll get your 2-win bonus, you should always get enough per day for a pack, which is another thing that Hearthstone does not have, and they were considered to have a very fair free-to-play system. So think about that. This is a much more fair system. So don't worry, as long as you just play the game each day, even if you just do your dailies and get a second win, you should quickly get a decent collection. Also, they often give you legendaries for hitting achievements, which is very generous. I mean, yes, they only give you 1, but some legendaries you only want 1. The deck that you're seeing here on the screen, I'm running, I should open this for you guys. I'm running 7 legendary cards, and only, how many of them are copies? Only 3 of them are copies. The other 4 are all uniques. That's another thing. Just a real quick, add-in. I didn't think about this when I first came, but this is more like a traditional card game like Magic the Gathering, where legendary minions, you can have more than 1 in your deck. Same thing with legendary spells. So I came from Hearthstone thinking, oh, it's a legendary, I can only have 1. And was incorrect. You can have up to 3 copies of any card, regardless of rarity, including legendary. So the next thing I want to say is, even though if you did find this through the forums, it's going to seem really it's going to seem weird to you. Stay away from the forums until you have the basics of the game and you feel comfortable. And the reason why I say this is, the forums have a lot of salt in them. There's a lot of good stuff there. So maybe let me reword this. Don't stay away from the forums, but take the forums with a grain of salt. No pun intended. Be willing to understand that, just like when the people hand out those surveys at their job, the people that take the time to fill out the survey and give feedback to the company are almost always going to be the ones that are upset. Because people that are happy are going to go home and be happy and go on with their day. But the upset people, it's bothering them, it's gotten in their head, they're going to fill out that survey. So the forums has a lot of complaining on it. Not necessarily unjust complaining, but complaining nonetheless. People that just have a problem with balance, or they're being frustrated, things like that. So I would say the forum's a good place to go, but don't let the saltiness or rude forum members get you down or turn you away from the game or the community, because for the most part the community in this game is very awesome, which is the next thing I want to bring up. I kind of have a general rule to use the tip mechanic, and I'm sure if you've been playing this, you know what I mean. At the bottom, when you win a game, you can tip your opponent. If my opponent says, well, this GLHF and well played and emotes and isn't a jerk, I will tip them gold, because I feel like that's nice. And since this game is so willing to give you gold, I would really recommend that you try that yourself. Just to kind of put that good energy not to sound like hippie babble all of a sudden, but just to put that, out into the community, just to start getting that as a thing, because all tipping that gold's going to do is help another person who's probably also new. If you're watching this and you're brand new, you're probably matching up against people that are also fairly new. Granted, the new season did just start, so they might not always be, but tipping is good. Also, even if you win a match, or even if you lose a match, if the person was fun enough that you wanted to tip them, why not send them a friend request? The worst case scenario, if they end up being salty or something, you just remove them. But I have never, like I said, my general rule is if they're nice, I tip them, and if they're worth tipping, I always send a friend request. And I have not gotten a salty person yet, and I play a lot of matches. I have friends now that are from Germany, one of them said. According to the YouTube analytics, I'm assuming they're people that I've met, because a lot of the friends that I made on this then come at least check out the channel. There's people from all over the place that are into this game that you could meet. I'm not sure exactly how their server system works, so I'm not sure if it's just like one big giant server or how it is. But it's just a nice way to meet people. It's just get out there and get involved in the community. And the more friends you make in the game, the more likely you are to enjoy yourself. And enjoyment is another big thing. You have to remember that this is version, 0.571, and of course, as this video gets older, that version will change. But at least as of right now, it is technically a beta. This is not a finished product. So don't stress out about your rank, even if you're into playing ranked. Don't stress about the rank. Don't stress out about oh man, I just lost 3 games in a row. Or, this one matchup seems really bad for me. Just make a deck that you have fun playing. If you have fun going up the ladder, maybe net deck, maybe, work on your deck, and enjoy yourself. Because if you're playing the game but you're not having fun, then it's like, why are you playing, I am a really competitive person. Like I said, I have a competitive history with card games. And I noticed that when I'm stressing out about whatever rank I'm at on the ladder, that's when I start having problems where I seem to lose more often when I'm not just enjoying the game. But when I'm willing to tell myself that, you know what? I'm having fun, it's in beta, things might not be perfectly balanced, things might not be... The stuff is going to change, and so I need to just be willing to accept that. So this is a really long-winded way for me to say, just have fun. The game is technically in beta still, or is in beta still, not just technically, it is. So enjoy yourself, make a fun deck, play the game, and don't stress out. Because if there's something that seems overpowered, again, there's that real nice support button right there at the top. You just click on it, you tell them exactly what you want. It works really, really good. It's a cool system. I'll show you guys how that works real fast if you want. So let's click on it. And we'll say something. Let's try to think of something that's actually really constructive. Gosh, I wasn't thinking about this. How about... Okay, how about... This is going to seem like a really stupid thing, but I've already scented reports on the things that I actually have problems with. So this is just kind of what I thought of. Magmar should be getting an option for a female general instead of another giant angry lizard man. Why not an awesome Naga Lamia kind of lady? So like this. So you'll just write whatever it is you're thinking, and you'll hit next, and it's immediately going to go in. But they'll show you things that are similar to what you said. So like then you can check them out. Alternate generals, okay. There we are. So like this, it's like, okay, cool. I agree with this. I'd really like to see if there's a female general choice for all 6. Okay, cool. This is similar to what I wanted. I'll go ahead and I'll say I want this. So you click this, and it'll say, hey, do you want updates about this? You say, yeah, sure. I don't care if you guys email me. This is my email. And you can say, yeah, I want. Tell me more about this. Awesome. And then do you still want to tell us your message? Yeah, I do. Cool. Pow. But then not only that, but it says, hey, what about what's next? You click on this, and all of a sudden, there's more things you can do. Co-op boss battles, cool. Helpful suggestion. Let's see what this is. Having a longer game. I find that so far I've really been using my very high mana minions. Customize this game mode. Instructions be therefore to increase the amount of customizable deck slots. Maybe have blank mini available for their match length play. Blank available. Huh. That I don't want to read on camera. Co-op challenge with friends or randoms like this for boss battles. Like this is cool, right? I'm gonna have it for a long time. I'm into this, so I'll pick this too. Yeah, great stuff. And then it's done. And then they're like, hey, do you want anything else? You're like, all right, cool. It's a really, really You know what's funny? This is I know who put this one up, but I'm gonna say, yeah, I want that. So that's how it works. It's really, really useful because not only do you get to tell them what you're thinking, and they'll immediately respond to you with like an automated email, and then later they'll get back to you. Just be patient with it. It's gonna take a few days because at first, when I first started playing, they would get back to you literally like within 1 or 2 days. But now that more and more people are joining the game, it's taking them a while, and they're working on server issues. They told me in one of the emails that they're sorry it's taking so long to get back to me, that the server problems, the lag issues and stuff like that are their main focus right now. But not only do you get to tell them your suggestion, but then you get to put input on like 2, 3, 4 more things, and it's really useful for them. Yeah, so I mean, by all means, enjoy the game. It's great. You know, maybe subscribe to some like YouTube channels, and maybe you don't like me. That's fine. I'm not just trying to make you subscribe to me. Like, go on YouTube and search Duelyst and subscribe to anyone you want. There are other channels out there that I'm sure give better content than me. I just like making videos. But, you know, and get involved with the community. And I think this game has a lot of potential. It's really, really cool. It's basically the game I'd always wanted because I was a Phantasy Star Online 3 Card Revolution baby. That game is such a long title. I'm sure most people don't know what it is. It was just a really cool game that worked a lot like this. But they like took that idea, they took like the mechanics of that game and the UI elements and like the game mechanics of like Hearthstone, and then they improved upon both of those things and made a really, really good game. Excellent. Guys, I hope I run into you on the ladder sometime, and if you recognize me, hey, add me as a friend, or if you see my screen name in this video, just send me a friend request. Shoot me an email. My email was shown on screen. And I think we'll have a good time. Excellent. Well, enjoy, and I hope your games go well.